Good morning, children. Last class we have seen the magnetics. There will be two magnetics and what does it mean by secondary storage devices, everything, right? So today's we will see. Before only I told that the common magnetic disk will be floppy disk and the hard disk. Okay, today's class will see the first about the floppy disk. Here you can see the images. There will be a three different sizes of the floppy disk. So it will start from small, means this we call it as in 3.5 inches, 5.25 inches, and this we call it as an 8 inches. These three types of the floppy disk before we are using it, not now. Okay, nowadays we are not using it because why it is. Nowadays the computers are becomes very fast, high speed storage memories and high speeds of memories has been inbuilt it, so it will not support the floppy disk. So long back we are using the floppy disk. This is also one of the storage devices, means it will stores the less storage, but you can transfer the data from one place to another places, means one data can be stored one in the one floppy disk. The data can be stored like 1.44 MB of data can be stored, but not like it is very less data storage when compared to the CDs or flash drives, that when we compare to like etc pen drives, when we compare to the that drives, floppy disk will be the storage will be very less. See, before only I have explained how it will be the floppy disk. It will be coated with the thin plastic material, but it will be coated inside with the iron oxide particles. Okay, so I'll start again. I'll have explained, but again I'll start. Floppy disk consists of a circular piece of a thin plastic material coated with the iron oxide particles. So it is circular piece. It has been thin plastic material, but it is coated with the iron oxide particles. And floppy disk were the permanent storage media used to transport the data from one place to another place. Before only I told it can be transfer the data from one place to another place, but when you store in the floppy disk, it will be like a permanent storage devices. Next, it stores a much less data than the other storage devices like CDs, flash drives, etc. Yeah, I told that it stores the less data when we compare to the other storage devices. Next, floppy disks were available in the three different sizes: 8, 5.25 and 3 inches. Normally 3.5 inches disk could store the 1.44 MB of data will be stored, and floppy disks are absolute and are not used today. Absolute means it is like we are not using it. Long back it was used, not like till now. It's not like 1 or 2 years we left. No, it has been left long back only. They have left. Have you got children of about the floppy disk? Next we will move to the hard disk. See, this we call it as an hard disk. In the hard disk there will be a two division. This small like a circle as a no, this we call it as an sector, and this we call it as an tracks. Okay, have we got now? This we call it as an sector, and this we call it as an tracks. Okay, in the hard disk there will be a different parts of the units, means a different part of the units will be calling it as a hard disk drive or a hard drive we will be calling it. This is also one of the storage devices. Next, here they have even in the third point, hard disk is made up of a collection of disks are known as a platters. Platters means that this disk it will be like a collection. This much thick, so much of thickness of the hard disk will be there. This we call it as an platters. And it is also coated with the magnetic material. It is has been means it is coated with the magnetic material. Always it will be rotating. It will rotate at the very high speed of the data. and it storage capacity will be like 2 terabyte. 2 terabyte will be the storage of data. Then this we call it as an internal hard disk. Some external hard disk also will be available nowadays. It can be used for different computers, or you can transfer the data in the task hard disk from one computer to the another computer. But when we compare to the internal hard disk, external hard disk is the lesser than, means it will come, less data will be consumed. Okay, so have you got now what is the meaning of the hard disk? Hard disk is a part of the unit known as the hard disk drive or a hard drive. Then the hard disk is another common device which stores the data. Then third and the fourth point I have explained. Then hard disk divided into two trackers and the sectors. Then it has a very high speed capacity and it can store up to 2 terabyte. Have you got children now what you mean by means what is the features and what all things are there in the hard disk, about the hard disk. Next we will see there are three parts of the hard disk. There are first three part of the hard disk. First we call it as internal hard disk cartridge and hard disk pack. Internal hard disk it will be in the inside the system, and it will be fixed disk. We will be calling it as C drives and all, right? So we will be calling it as a disk drive only. Hard disk cartridge is like a removal. It can be like it will be like a complaint the internal hard disk it is used to, like if any little be like a small part you can take to the another system also, but it will storage capacity will be 10 to 20 gigabyte only. GB means gigabyte. Next, hard disk pack. This hard disk will be like a removal hard disk only, but in the systems we are not using. We are using in the banks to store the huge data. They will be using it. It commonly used in the mainframe computer also. It can store capacity is very big. Massive means it is like a very big, you can store too much of data in that hard disk pack. Have you got children now what are the three types of hard disk? What is floppy disk and a hard disk? What is the meaning of? Thank you.